What a mic drop. That Flash trailer completely amplified my excited because I love the Flash reign of terror happened. And reports of grooming, breaking and entering, robbery, various forms of abuse really soured me on the film as a whole. Honestly, the only thing giving me hope and allowing me to still get on board with the project, having been a big fan of his, why WB and DC didn't give up on this movie to be so excited given Ezra's fucking bullshit, but goddamn, I'm so excited for this movie. And look, hundreds of artists gave it their all to bring this incredible story to life. Filmmaking is a collaborative art, and it doesn't rest on the shoulders of actors such as newcomer Sasha, who dedicated years of their lives to being against the film, given Ezra's involvement. But more than them, this feels like the true creative product of Andy Muschietti and the artists he employed to come together and create something special. Separating the art from the artist, it's not easy, but in this case, I feel I can. It's a personal decision though, so you gotta make up your own mind. But what is irrefutable is the amazing kinetic energy held within this trailer. Though still unfinished, the VFX mostly look great. They don't look like mud. They're vibrant, colorful, takes place in daylight, dynamic, punchy anime-style action that makes you viscerally feel the speed and impact of the movements. Like, I know this was Zack Snyder's approach to the action, but I think it is so cool that the subsequent filmmakers have followed in his footsteps. It truly is a Zack Snyder is the blueprint moment, and it shows a reverence and respect for what he did to usher in a new era for DC. It's a shame some of, the most ardent Snyderverse fans aren't convinced anything he didn't directly direct doesn't count, but maybe this will offer them some solace. It seems like Andy really vibes with what Zack was doing, same with James Wan, Patty Jenkins, and they wanted to try to carry the torch the best they could. Despite the mess and studio interference, WB had something good going with the DCEU, I feel. It wasn't the most cohesive or consistent thing in the world, but everyone gave it the old college try, and this seems like the perfect final note for that universe. A great way to thematically conclude everything they've been working towards for so many years, and there may be no better way to conclude all of this than in this Flash movie, which feels like an all-encompassing version of everything that has happened to the DCEU. I mean, this movie has been in production hell for so long, and it was announced in 2015, if you can believe that. Literally, Ezra Miller and the whole Flash movie was announced the same year that the Flash TV show started, and that show is now wrapping up. Just insane to me that it's taken this long to get a proper Flash movie. But finally, it's actually happening. And man, it looks is the DC Films' way of getting their own New 52. Having made a bit of a mess with the Snyderverse, this gives them a get-out-of-jail-free card in the most energetic in the goddamn trailer. I genuinely can't get over the Man of Steel angle here with this. It's fucking genius. Now, last I heard, Henry Cavill was still going to have a final appearance in the film. However, I'm not too sure that's the case anymore given the reshoots and such. He should at least have a small role given how he was the one who started it all and should be there to send it off. But what we do have confirmed is Michael Shannon returning as General Zod, aka a gift. Questions about what is happening in this alternate timeline. I honestly think that the Zod stuff is so fascinating. Does this mean that in another timeline, Supergirl is fighting Zod instead of Clark? Because I'm inclined to believe that's the case. With Supergirl, it's interesting because she's on to the next section. Alright, just kidding. Obviously, there's more to touch on regarding Batman. We have both Michael Keaton coming back for one more hurrah, and I could actually cry because it looks like we get proper Batfleck for one last ride. I honestly wasn't expecting to get much from him, let alone much from him in this trailer, and we still might not get a lot from him in the finished movie. And I've basically heard the same, so temper expectations. But oh my god, at least he's in the action bits. Having the two Batmen in the film, in a general sense, It's everything I hate about the current state of comic book movies, and the cameo-ification the story, I feel, totally permits it. They constructed a story that necessitates the inclusion of the two Batmen, specifically thematically, and then let the fan servicey moments play out naturally. And at least the "I'm Batman" line actually makes sense in context. I mean, it has dual meaning because it's an iconic Batman line, but like, the dude's also introducing himself to the two Barrys, and it's done with an interesting, dynamic camera movement. It's not shot like a sitcom entrance, and there's such an interesting dynamic in teaming up Barry with these versions of the characters. Batfleck and Barry share a pain the other Leaguers don't, other than Cyborg, but you know, he's not coming back. As one to find Barry and sort of take him under his wing makes that bond make sense. And you're able to contrast Barry and Ben's relationship with Barry and Keaton, so he gets something unique from being with a different Batman in this other universe. And it'll be interesting to see how they tie Ben's Bruce into all of this, because he's clearly still hanging on to some issues, I guess, per Batman v Superman. It gives us a chance to wrap up his thread. At the beginning of the trailer, Keaton asks Barry why he's fighting to save this particular universe,